In this video, I'm going to teach you the exact process how you can go from not really liking sales to actually feeling confident and, dare I say, enjoying sales. Yes, you heard me right. Enjoying sales. The truth is, a lot of you as accountants, it's not that you don't like the outcome of selling. You love helping clients. You love helping them achieve their goals, helping them overcome obstacles. That's ultimately what comes as a result of sales, but you dislike the idea of being slimy, looking salesy. I've heard this one before. You hate looking like you're only in it for the money. And I say I've heard that one before. I've heard that a lot. So if that's you, then please go ahead and turn off your phone, silence any sort of distractions, and take some notes. And then replay this video as needed so that you can become confident in your sales process, which ultimately will allow you to create a bigger impact. And isn't that what we're all after? Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Katie Thomas. I'm a CPA and I've run Leaders Online, a digital marketing agency for the past 8 years. We help accountants all over the US. These are firms that are ranging in a variety of sizes from just 1 or 2 partners all the way up to those firms in the top 100. Now, we work a lot on helping them acquire new prospects. But as an accountant, someone who's very smart, know prospects aren't any good if you can't ultimately help get them over the finish line to actually become a client. And so that's what I'm going to help you do today. I'm not just going to help you get them over the finish line, but I'm actually going to help you enjoy that process. Now, where do we begin on all this? If we want to improve our sales skills or make more sales, we first need leads. And this video is not going to be just focused on generating leads. However, I do think it's important that we touch on it. And there are really 2 routes to getting leads. There are going to be inbound leads that you can generate from posting content that you can have as referrals just naturally being sent your way. They're just finding you on the internet, whether that's a Google search or a ChatGPT search. These are inbound. Or there can be outbound prospects, outbound leads. And these come from you taking outbound action. These come from you sending direct messages on social media. These come from running paid ads. These come from doing cold calls. And yes, cold calls. I actually ran an experiment just pretty recently where I called 30 business owners. Of those 30 business owners, I reached 20, head dog, top dog, decision maker. And I asked them, are you confident in your account? And only 1 said yes, 1. So right then and there, that tells me there's so much opportunity for you. If you're watching this and like, hey, I don't even know where to start, cold call, pick up the phone, make some dials, and you will be surprised how many people would be interested in learning more about how you can help them. All right, so we're talking about getting leads and those 2 different routes. I want you in this section to focus on how many conversations are you having each week. Now, if inbound is getting you the number of conversations you need to be having each week, that's great. But if it's not, then I need you to also be adding outbound. I know a lot of accountants are hesitant to do outbound. And so I can make some more videos on that if you'd like. Just let me know in the comments. At Leaders Online, we have a great inbound system, and it stems from just creating 1 piece of content a week. And I'll go ahead and link a video here and in the description on exactly what that system looks like and how you can implement it in your firm. But what I really want you to know here is that inbound does take time. And if it's not getting you the traction you need right away, then you need to add an outbound motion. The same holds true for inbound. If it's getting you a good number of leads, but you want more leads, then go ahead and kick off some outbound motions. You don't have to do those forever, but they are always there. And those are levers that you can pull. With lead generation, it's really important that you do this consistently. You do not earn consistent revenue with inconsistent lead generation. So always be building your pipeline. You never know what the future can bring. And this is not to scare anyone or fearmonger anyone, but if you have a full client list today and something happens and maybe the industry you work with, it changes and you lose a bunch of clients or life happens, situations come up, and you don't want to be left with scrambling to bring on new clients because you're desperate. Next, we have the leads, so we need to actually hold the sales call, the sales Zoom meeting, the in-person meeting. We need to actually do the discovery to see, okay, is this someone I can help? Is this someone that I want to help? And ultimately, can I get them the result that they're looking for? When it comes to this, you need a script. This is not to sound robotic, but this is to stay in control of the call. I'm going to call it a call. If it's an in-person meeting, if it's a Zoom meeting, we're just going to call it a call. Replace that as it fits your situation. Now, when it comes to the call flow, this is important. It should be set the frame, diagnose, quantify, prescribe, quote, and agree on the next step. If you follow this, it's going to greatly improve your entire outlook on sales, as well as your ability to close those prospects that are a good fit. So let's dive into each of those individually. The first one is to set the frame. When it comes to setting the frame, here's how I like to do it. And I do this after we've had some chit chat, some small talk. All right, before we jump in, here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your situation to make sure I understand. Then I'll tell you what I recommend. And if it's a fit, I'll let you know what that typically costs and what the next steps are. And if it's not a fit, I'll also let you know that too. Does that sound okay? And of course, they're going to be like, okay, that's great. All right. So we've framed how this call is going to go. They've agreed to it. And the next step is to diagnose. This is where you're really going to dive into their problems, their situation. So you should be asking questions like, what prompted you to book a call today? What are you currently doing? What's working and what's not? What have you tried already? I really like this question because it allows you to know if they've done any DIY work, if they worked with another provider. All of that's very important. And then this one's really, really key. If nothing changes in the next 6 months, what does that create for you? So now we've kind of started setting this up. Okay, if you do nothing, what does that look like? And this brings us to step 3, which is really to quantify. What is this problem truly costing them? Because if they can see that, then whenever we present our price, it makes it a lot easier for them to be like, okay, this makes a lot of sense to ultimately pay you this price to avoid this painful cost over here. So step 3 is to quantify. You can do this in a variety of ways. You could ask, how many hours a month is this eating up? What's the cost of that time? What's the risk if you do nothing? What does this situation prevent you from doing now? If we fix this, how much peace would you feel? Each situation's a little different and you have to feel it out yourself, but we must quantify in some way or another the cost of this. Like, why is this important to them? What is it truly costing them? Is it costing them a lot of time, a lot of peace? Is it physically costing them a lot of dollars? What is that? Now, once we've gone through this and we set the frame, we diagnosed, and then we quantified, now it's time to prescribe. That's where you come in and you say, hey, based on what you told me, here's what I'd recommend. From here, you just lay out very simply what you'd recommend, what that package is, what that service is, what it is that you'd offer them to fix this problem or these problems that they shared with you. Now, when it comes to talking about price, this really depends on your firm and how you operate. Are you a firm that you have one call where you essentially go for the close on it? Or are you a firm that you really stay in mostly that diagnose, and whenever you're getting to that prescription stage, you're leading them to that next call where you go in deeper into how it is to work with you, and that gives you a little bit more time to scope it as well as to price your engagement. So it just depends here. Now, what I want to say is that if you have very clear packages, if that's very laid out, then typically you can go ahead and just price on that first call because you have very clear scopes already set out. But I don't want you, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I don't have all of that figured out already, we're very custom in our pricing and in our quoting, then just save this for another call and you can let them know, hey, I've got all the information I need. As far as next steps go, I'm going to take some time to to go over the information, put together what it looks like to work with us, as well as the investment. And hey, can you meet on this date at this time to go over that? Now, no matter what, if you are on a one call close, or let's say that you are on that second call where you walk through the scope and the price and someone is ready to move forward, this is where you want to make the close feel very obvious and those next steps be very simple for someone to take. That's where you say, hey, as far as next steps go, I provide an engagement letter. Once it's signed, we go ahead and we schedule our kickoff call. In X amount of days, you will be up and running, or we'll have your books cleaned up, or you'll get your first tax plan. Make that very simple for them so someone's not like, okay, what are next steps? It's like super easy to work with us, no worries. And one thing I do want to note here is do not send engagement letters off into Never Neverland, as I like to say it. Don't just email them over. Go through them together on a call. If someone says, send me over an engagement letter, say, perfect. What I do is I send those over right before our call that we schedule to walk through that together. That way, if you have any questions, I can get them answered right away. When would you like to book that call? That way, you don't just have someone basically using that as a way to get off the call, and now you put all this work into creating this engagement letter and you just never hear from them again. So don't send them over to just go off into Never Neverland. Don't send them over email. Get them with you on a call to walk through that together. Let's talk objections. The first one is around the price. If someone says it's too expensive, we hate to hear that, right? It can make us feel like, what do we do? But hey, I've got you covered. So what I want you to say is, I totally hear you. It's fair to say that out loud. But can I ask you a question? Is it the total investment that you're concerned about? Or are you concerned that you won't get a return on your investment? If they say return, I'm concerned I won't get a return on my investment, then say, okay, I know that you mentioned that this problem was costing you X. If we solve it, would that be worth it to you? Yeah, because let's say we figured out that this is costing them tens of thousands of dollars every year because they don't have tax planning, and your tax plan is whatever you charge for tax planning, it's probably less than that. Yeah, that should be worth it to them. Let's say if they say they're not sure that total investment would be worth it to them. Got it. If needed, we could scope this into smaller phases, phase 1 and phase 2. That way we can get started with phase 1 and then we can move into phase 2 later. Would you like to see what that looks like? This way, if they're worried about that total investment up front, then it gives them a way to ease into working with you with a lower commitment from their side. And also, this better be a lower effort from your side. The next one a lot of people say is, I need to think about it. This one is really simple to overcome and get to the root of what they actually mean when they're saying, I need to think about it. Say, of course. When someone says that, it's usually one of two things: timing or uncertainty. Which one is it for you? And then you can solve it. Another one people like to say is, can you send me more info? Classic, right? That's when you say, okay, got it. Just so I send you the right information, what exactly are you trying to find out more? And then another common one that I hear when I'm working with firms is they hear the objection, we're talking to other firms, which that's a good thing. That's great for people to do their due diligence. So what I want you to say back to that is totally normal. What criteria are you using to decide? This way you can position around outcomes and processes, not just your features. At this point, we're cooking. We know how to get leads. We have a script. We also know how to handle some of the most common objections. This next part, I do not want you to delay starting to increase your sales calls because you don't have this step done. However, I do want it to be something that you prioritize as you are looking to improve your sales process. And that is to have packages. People don't buy services, they buy decisions. And whenever you know how to package things so it makes it really easy for someone to make a decision, that changes the game for you and them. Think about whenever you go to the Cheesecake Factory. If you've ever been there, they have a huge menu. And if you've never been to the Cheesecake Factory, think of some other place you've gone before where the menu is huge. At the Cheesecake Factory, they've got basically every type of food. They have Asian, they have American, they have Italian, they have all these types of food. And so when you go there, making a decision on what you want to eat, it can take some time versus if you go to In-N-Out. If you go to In-N-Out, you're likely getting a burger, maybe some fries, and a drink. There really isn't any decision making to do. You want to give your prospects that same peace of mind where they don't really have to make a decision. And so this is where having packages comes into place. When it comes to packages, I want you to have 3 options and then recommend one for them. As part of your script, when it comes to presenting them, you can make it really easy and just say, we have 3 options to work with us. I will walk you through each of those options, and then based on everything you've told me so far, I'll recommend what one I believe fits you best. And you can walk them through the basic option, the best fit option, and then the premium option. So let's say that they need that like middle option. Then as part of your call, it could just be like, hey, based upon your situation, I think that you really fit into this middle package. We'll be able to help you fix A, B, and C, get the result of X, Y, and Z. And then as your business grows or as your life evolves, alter this to their situation. We can look at moving up to the next package when that time comes. Their life was just made easier because now they don't have to think about, am I making the wrong decision? What's the cost of making that wrong decision? Going back to that example of being at the Cheesecake Factory, it's like, well, if I order the pizza, what if it comes out and my friend over there, she ordered this great Asian dish? What if I regret ordering the pizza and I want that Asian dish? That same conversation is going through your prospect's mind. You don't want them to have to be like, what's the cost of me making the wrong decision? Okay, so now we know how to get leads. We have that sales script in place. We know how to handle our common objections. We have our packages. And finally, I want to reiterate, step 5 is just to make that next step easy. We talked about in the sales script about how it's very clear what that next step looks like. I think about even for myself, if I were to switch accountants today, that sounds like a lot of work. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to get all my information over to this new accountant. I'm going to have to re-explain my situation. And then you can start spiraling about like, how am I going to do all this? Where am I going to send everything? You want to just remove that and really outline in that sales process, okay, great. This is what next steps are. You sign the engagement letter. We have our kickoff call. During our kickoff call, I'm going to let you know exactly where to upload your documents, and we're going to make sure that we have some sort of result within a certain amount of days. Like make it very clear to them that within 30 days, they're going to have this problem either fixed or they're going to have part of the problem fixed. So it's very clear in their mind. It sounds as simple as possible. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get their buy-in, that it's going to take some work and cooperation from them. That's not at all what I'm saying. That is important. And if you've had people who are non-compliant in the past and this has been an issue, then definitely share that with them. Like, hey, it's really important that we stay aligned. And maybe you even send them a schedule, like week 1, we need this, week 2, we need that. That can all be a part of your onboarding, but you can definitely make it clear like, hey, we're going to need your help these first 30 days. It's going to be work from both of us. But then once we get this smoothed out, we should be smooth sailing. That's totally fine. It's just letting them know like you're there for them and you're going to make this process really easy for them. So if you use this process, I promise you that you are going to learn to enjoy sales, because as a result of improving your sales skills, now you are creating a bigger impact. And ultimately, that is what we are all after in life. We want to create an impact. We are given these gifts so that we can leave the world in a better place than it was when we came. And that's why sales are so powerful, because you have the ability to impact so many. Now, if you like this video, please be sure to like it before you click off. And if you have any questions about sales or marketing, drop them in the comments below. And finally, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and I'll catch you in it. Bye now.